Yes, Uncle Kathy was a huge fan, and he made every attempt to watch the show and took every opportunity to remind us that he was always watching. Isn't it fitting that we are here today at the Nelson Mandela Foundation to remember Uncle Kathy? These were comrades, brothers in arms. They stood side to side, they fought side to side, they served time together. And now, there is a reunion of sorts going on. And I can imagine Madiba and Uncle Kathy and many others joining in with their recollections of what it was at the time that they led us to freedom. Also, this is a center of memory. This is a repository of all those amazing moments in time in our history that have become the basis on which we are building a country, and we still do that even today. It was the occasion of Uncle Kathy's 80th birthday that, you remember, Sam decided with her very mischievous idea of hers that she was going to get Uncle Kathy onto Isidingo because that was his favorite show. And she arranged it with Pumla, our executive producer, who is here today, and said, let us feature him in a scene on Isidingo, and it's going to go out as part of the normal episode. And so it was written. And Uncle Kathy arrived, and we had the script ready for him. Not that he cared. Because we had Kim Engelbrecht in the scene with us, and you know where his eyes were. He decided that he was just going to have fun with the scene. And it can be very daunting for anybody walking onto the set of Isidingo or any of the big soapies in the country. It's a very professional, very technical environment. But he was just himself. And he just enjoyed the moment. And the lights were on and the cameras were all around him. And we did a quick rehearsal. And he was kind of there, but also not. And we were wondering, oh my goodness, how many takes are we going to do? And we went for the first take, and he nailed it. I can tell you now, he made up his own lines. And they were spot on, every one of them. And it was a long scene, a 2-page scene. And he wasn't intimidated at all, he had so much fun. When we had called cut, he was about to walk away. And we had to call him back and say, Uncle Kathy, we have to do another take. And he says, why did I do something wrong? And we said, no, this is, it's not that, you were actually perfect. He says, oh, it must have been the cameras there. It's amazing to think, as a professional actor in my career, I can count a number of roles that I've played. But for Uncle Kathy, some of the roles that he played were actually all about life and death. The stakes were that high. There were times that he had to hide, to disguise himself, and live for many years hiding from the security police. He had to grow a beard and wear dark glasses very often and have long hair in order to change his look, because the police identikits had him in the way that they remembered him. That was the role that you had to play, and he had to do it convincingly. In fact, he was known as a Portuguese person. Now, quite how he could pull off that role, I have no idea, because I'm still battling trying to play in India. But he was absolutely incredible. And there were so many roles over the years when it was demanded of him, as a true loyal comrade, he would play the role of a leader, of a fighter, of a teacher, and of a guide. When he needed to play that role, yes, he was a prisoner as well. And when he came out of that role, again he resumed his role as leader, teacher, and guide, always living by a code, carrying his dignity about him as an example to others of how to stand up against injustice, how to make yourself heard, how to speak truth to power. And he continued doing that. Even up until the last days of his life, he knew when something needed to be said. And I wanted to remind the elders in our room today, yes, you have in your company those of the younger generation who will fearlessly keep that torch burning in his name, in his honor, because we too have a need to speak truth to power, to fight against the injustices, and to remind our leaders of today that there were those who were just a few, like Uncle Kathy, who believed in service through sacrifice. And that's what we will continue in his name. It's one of the few. On behalf of the cast, the crew, the production of Isidingo, we want to extend our deepest sympathies to the Kathrada family, their friends, and many, many colleagues. He will be remembered as one of the few. Thank you.